So what were you saying about Die Hard?
I watched a thing on Netflix called like The Movies That Made Us, and that one in particular was about Die Hard.
I know a couple of fun facts about Die Hard.
I probably know one of them.
One would be they were okay. So this one has context. So when they were going to make Die Hard, they were contractually obligated to first offer the role to Frank Sinatra.
Yes, they went through several main actors for the role of John McClane.
Well, specifically, it was Frank Sinatra because the movie Die Hard was based on a book that was a sequel to another book that they had already made a movie based on. That movie.
Do you know the name of the
Frank
book?
Sinatra. No, I don't. I don't remember the name. I don't
remember
the name of either book.
Nothing Lasts Forever.
Because there was because that was a sequel to another book, and the earlier book they made a movie of, and that movie starred Frank Sinatra in the role of John McClane. Although I don't think that was his name in the movie. I don't even know if it was his name in the book, but it was like the same character. And so when they made Die Hard, when they were going to make Die Hard, the first person that they were legally, contractually obligated to ask if he wanted to be in the role was Frank Sinatra. Can you imagine going to Frank Sinatra in the 80s and asking him if he wants to be in like an action movie?
Well, he turned it down, and so did a lot of large-name actors turned down the role because after reading the script, they all pretty much just were like in agreement, but not like together. But everyone was just kind of unanimously like, "This script sucks. It's not going to go anywhere." I think one of the other main actors they approached was Clint Eastwood. Eventually, they took a gamble on Bruce Willis, who at the time was doing Moonlighting. So he was a sitcom comedy actor.
Yes. Well, Moonlighting was... It was comedic, but I wouldn't say it was a sitcom. It was a... it was like an action comedy kind of show.
Well, because it's television, it is just snubbed and looked down upon anyone in Hollywood.
That's true.
Television.
That is true. Less so nowadays, and I do think that part of that is, well, part of it is the absolute ridiculous amount of money that some studios are trying to shove into TV. But another reason is, I think, honestly, an influence of British actors on Hollywood. As more and more British actors are, being hired in Hollywood, the British don't really have that kind of stigma between movie and TV. British actor will gladly do either one and be glad for the job, and so I think that's kind of rubbing off on a lot of people on Hollywood. Of course, again, the other reason being that there is a lot of studios are trying to make TV this big cinematic experience, and
well, they also took a large gamble on Alan Rickman because. Up at that point, he'd never done film or television. He was primarily a stage actor.
Could you imagine Die Hard without Alan Rickman? Oh my god.
I think they specifically wanted Alan Rickman. If not someone not American.
Could you imagine any movie in which Alan Rickman plays a major role without Alan Rickman in that role? Robin Hood? Harry Potter, Galaxy Quest,
Dogma.
Yeah, he's the Metatron in Dogma. We are currently waiting for Kyle.
I already knew some things about Die Hard. Just, passing information and interest. One of them was, I think, because of Die Hard, a certain stunt, Bruce Willis kind of has like ruined hearing in one ear.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nowadays that is the least of Bruce Willis's health problems.
Well, he is retired, so he can live out his time.
The thing is, the unfortunate disease that he has probably is not going to afford him a great retirement.
No.
It's pretty sad. Sad stuff.
One of the things about the... I guess you could call it a documentary. I wouldn't call it long form because it's only like... I guess would be an episode, so maybe an hour long. Was Reginald kind of like reminiscing that here we are 30 plus years after that was his first official role in the big screen, and people are still talking about it.
We're leaving. Craig, you're here. Get on the wheel. We're going west. West, very slightly north.
Go west.
We're going to the other outpost, the sanctuary outpost.
Anyway, a lot of risky ventures. Die Hard had a lot of gambling involved with its production and just existing in general.
We're threading the needle. Maybe we're threading the needle. We are a little bit going one way. Would you pull the mainsail up a little bit? I cannot see a goddamn thing, and I need to see.
What do you need to see but the sails, but the sea and the sails?
Will you though? Just like a little bit. Okay, that's good. That's good. I can't see shit with it fully down. It doesn't help that we're in a storm, so I have to like fight the wheel. Yo.
Oh, we're actually in the storm.
Yeah. Craig.
Oh, you took off so soon. I did not get a supply box.
That's fine. We're going to another outpost. It's fine. Craig, take the wheel. Take the wheel, Craig. Craig, take the wheel. Craig, take the wheel. Go ahead and take it. Take the wheel, Craig. There you go. You got that? All right. Craig, turn us a little more starboard. We want to go west, northwest, if possible.
Oops, I missed. You're gonna have to help bail a bit.
Okay. It's fine. We're okay. Hold on a minute.
Don't need to worry too much about the ones up here. Ooh, there's a hole down here.
I can't ever get this. Hey, I think I got it this time. I gotta aim like lower than I think. Jesus. What are we hitting?
It's just the storm. The storm causes damage.
Craig, we need to go hard starboard. We were heading right for an island, and we don't want to head for this island.
This is why, if you want to avoid players or get away from them, you want to go into a storm. Because it'll also be their problem if they decide to follow you.
All right, we're good. Turn a little bit more port now.
Like diving into a nebula.
Actually, turn like 45 degrees, Port. You mean the Mutara Nebula?
Many such nebulas.
Alright, that's good. That's good right there. Do I? Hi. We're going too far south again. We turned a little bit more. Turn more starboard. Oh, we're out of the storm now anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Do you see the outpost over there just off the starboard bow? It's like way in the distance. That's where we're going. We are pointing to it now. Hi, Kyle.
Hello.
So I sent in a ticket about Becalmed being copyright struck. It wasn't struck because there are multiple levels of getting informed that your video has a copyrighted song. It was more that I was informed that my video had a copyrighted song, but it didn't affect the status of my video. So like I was okay, and yet still it kind of feels like that shouldn't happen. So I did send in a ticket, and I learned that when they are responding to you, which they did surprisingly respond to me, like an actual person. Yeah, an actual person did respond to me and asked me for a screenshot
YouTube
of
actually
the
employs human beings.
stuff. It's not YouTube. It was I sent it into Rare. A little bit more starboard. They start all of their emails with "Ahoy there." So my email was "Ahoy there, Merg," and all of their emails have been "Ahoy there."
I have a similar funny story, but I don't know if I should tell it because I don't know if the person's going to get in trouble or not.
Well, just don't say any names. Don't list names.
Okay, a person I know works for like a IT troubleshooting company. I'm being very vague about this because I kind of forget what his specific position is.
Okay.
But basically, companies call the company he works for if there's any trouble with electronic-wise and servers and such like that. They're like a contracted IT company. Mm-hmm. They often do work for, let's say, I'm trying to think of like a really funny way to reword what this company actually is.
Okay.
I'll just say it's like a discount department store.
Okay.
And they occasionally do correspondent emails with each other. And whenever the company in particular like signs off their emails, they do it with a little GIF of the company logo. And it was so funny that my friend decided to just kind of like take that little image and upload it to our Discord. So it's an emote. It's a little emoji for us.
I wish there was a little bit more visual feedback for this. Yeah.
Let's start using those elevators and harpoons to move the loot.
We did. Kyle and I, Kyle invited me to help him pick up some things, and it was like a lot of stuff, and we ended up using that, and it worked amazingly.
What would you do without me?
All right, that's pretty good.
probably sail a lot safer.
Safe is overrated.
Alright, we are doing a tall tale. Just like last week. Jesus
Why
Christ.
not short nubs?
Your face is a short nub.
Possibly. But you don't know that, do you?
Who are we looking for here? We are looking for Wild Rose. I don't know where
Sounds
this
like a
person
code
is.
name.
It's literally a code name from Final Fantasy XIV. Are you Wild Rose? No, you're Tracy. Let's see. Let's see. Are you Wild Rose? You're Madame Olive.
Are you Dan Backslide?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this boy? It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Yeah, that's the actual literal plot of The Fugitive, right?
Yeah.
But whenever anybody says that, they're quoting, is it The Mask or was it Ace Ventura where he's like making fun of that?
I think it was The Mask.
I don't think
But
Wild Rose is out here.
I, knowing both The Mask and The Fugitive, can do both.
I don't care.
That's a really great response delivery from Tommy Lee Jones, because from his position as a U.S. Marshal, no, he doesn't care. All he cares about is getting the bad guy back into cuffs.
U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens. I doubt
and on off time, all he cares about is getting the naughty guy into cuffs.
Has anybody even seen that show that I just referenced?
Probably not.
It's Timothy Elephant's show. Yes, I call him Timothy Elephant.
You called him Elephant.
I did. It was on purpose. He plays a U.S. Marshal in that show.
Talking about shoot, not the
You
one
want to see something?
Yeah, I always want to see something.
You want to see something really scary?
What are we looking at?
I don't know. It's supposed to do something.
There is artwork here. Got a combination for looking at that artwork.
Is it because you're not a captain, maybe? Or do we all have to play?
What's supposed to happen?
The floor should open up.
Here?
Yeah.
Are you sure we're at the right outpost?
We already have an accordion.
Well, I suppose it's not today then.
Why wouldn't it be today?
I believe we didn't already have an accordion.
We did, though.
That is not an accordion. It's a concertina. There is a difference.
Well, then we already had a concertina.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Are you Wild Rose?
You said we had an
no,
accordion.
You're not Wild Rose. Are you Wild Rose? You're Wendy.
Where's Peter?
Whatever it was, we already had one, so you were
actually
being
have to look this
redundant.
up. Are you Wild Rose? No, you're not. I might actually have to look this up. Oh no, we're not looking for Wild Rose. Oh my god, that's the name of the stupid tall tale. That's not the name of the person we want. We just want Madame Olive.
You
Jesus
fool.
Christ. Jesus Christ, I was looking at the wrong thing. Alright, I'm talking to... Oh no, I'm gonna vote for the tall tale. Wild Rose is the name of the tall tale, not the name of the person. Because I, sometimes, am stupid. Alright, we're doing it. She's gonna talk.
Is that French for stupid?
Did Olivia send you?
Yes.
Oh,
La stupide.
thank heavens. I've been beside myself, out here all alone with no one to confide in but that beastly Humphrey. There's nothing
Who's
I
Humphrey?
can do, you see. Not really. I'm no pirate. Not like my best friend Rose. She's amazing.
So I learned an
once
interesting
saw her
little
bite a rope clean
tidbit
in half, you know.
Hold on.
She's so
about
fierce. Unless she's with George.
Sea of Thieves.
He's her fiance now. And she sent me this beautiful diary, all about how they both met and fell in love.
This
They've even asked
beautiful
me to
diary.
officiate their wedding.
This one.
It's such an honor. Except, you see,
Yes.
they were due to be married 3 days ago.
Uh-huh.
But they never arrived, and I've been worried sick ever since.
Do you know that your mascara
I
is running?
know something must be wrong.
Well, she
No?
better go catch it.
Olivia told me her compass helped you locate a skeleton lord.
Yes.
I'm not as skilled.
That was an annoying
but
thing.
yes.
Skeleton warriors.
Perhaps the same magic might help locate Rose and George. Rose
Skeleton
wrote
Lord.
about burying precious keepsakes in her diary.
Okay.
Find their chest of memories and bring
Yes,
me
my
any
lord
mementos
Skeletor.
it leads you to. Please, hurry, I'm begging you.
Yeah. All right. Pirate,
So-
please help me find my friends. Bring me their treasure mementos, and we'll soon have them back. All of the book tells us. Hold on, lost joke. Hold on. Let's read the clues
Faster.
first. This
Faster.
book tells our story from unsuspecting beginnings to the day we are to be married. I can't wait for the rest of my life with you. Your Rose X. This is the first time I mention you. Hi, Olive. I know it's been ages since I wrote to you, but you know what life is like at sea. We made it to Sailor's Bounty, though. We had picked up a new crew member called George. He might not last long, though. It's so quiet. We will see you. We'll see how long he holds his drink tonight, which could be funny at least. Day 5. I nearly messed up again today. I fell for a trap on Cannon Cove, ran straight towards it. That's when they ambushed me. Suddenly, there she was with 2 swords drawn, 1 versus 4. They never stood a chance. After I called her Wild Rose, she didn't smile, but she also didn't hit me. I think that means she likes it. I think this is George talking now. So they were on Cannon Cove at some point.
George Costanza.
You know what? That's my new canon now. That is, in fact, George Costanza. We saw familiar sails on the horizon again. Our old Captain Briggsy still sailing the high seas. I hope she's okay. Oh, don't worry, Briggsy's fine. I'm sure.
Just fine.
Oh, Olive, this is Rose again. We are pursued by a captain who goes by the name Rook, with an E. Rookie. Rumors on the wind claim she's a skeleton of fearsome power, bearer of a terrible curse. I can't think of anything worse. Somebody trying to take me away from the sea. George came up with some drink for me. It was hot and tasted like spices. I'm so glad he stayed. He's welcome to distract him with his warm spirit and tall tales. And then I fell asleep with my head on his shoulder. How embarrassing. George again. We picked up a bounty from Olive today. She took me to one side and asked if I was sweet on Rose. I guess I hadn't thought about it before. I mean, she's been a close friend as long as I've known her. She's I don't really give a shit about this. They had to go fight a bounty on Lone Cove. Rose writes that he kissed me. And it's great. We found an old chest buried in wet sand on Sea Dog's Rest. 2 halves of a pendant. And 1 heavy. They split it up because they're romantic teenagers, I guess. Rook and her ship are a dark presence on the seas. Jesus Christ, how long is this? How long actually? Oh, this is the end. This is the end. George and I are taking some memories we care about, and they all go in a chest we buried. It's hidden at Sandy Shallows next to the northernmost. Oh, we don't even need a clue. They literally just say where it is. All right. I was reading all of this to get a clue, and it turns out we don't need a clue because they literally just say, oh yeah, it's at Sandy Shallows on the northernmost rocks. Next to the northernmost rocks. All right, last joke. You were saying?
All the NPCs here at Outposts, their names are what they are. Also, there's a Glitterbeard journal if you haven't ever interacted with it.
I think I've got that one already. Their names are what they are. Charles is a general clothing shop.
He's the clothing seller.
Tyler is the equipment shop.
Tyler.
Wendy is the weaponsmith shop. That one tracks. That one tracks.
Tyler's the first one that's name does not start with what he is.
Ebenezer is the pirate emporium. You know what? That tracks you. I'll give you that one.
Olivia is the Order of Souls person.
Sure, sure.
Humphrey, the hoarder.
Humphrey is the hoarder. Okay. Madame Olivia does not like Humphrey. The George and Kraken.
Okay, Tracy, the tavern owner.
Yeah.
Tyler was the first one I've come across where his name did not follow that.
So, I mean, what else? What could we alliterate with Tyler? Insofar as equipment.
I don't know. Call him Eric.
No, I mean, like, what could we? He's already named Tyler. We have to think of how that matches. Sandy Shallows.
I suspect we're gonna have to be extra careful.
Why?
You don't hear it.
No, I don't hear nothing.
You don't hear our helmsman getting completely smashed already.
I do hear that. I didn't know that's what you meant. All right, we're going. Craig, get your drunk ass onto the wheel. We're going north-northwest. Can you even get there? Can you even?
No, he can only odd.
Oh.
Great start. Brilliant start. Smooth.
Alright, let's go, Craig. Get on the wheel. Get on the wheel! You're the helmsman, you gotta get on the wheel! North-northwest. Used to be a small island. Jesus Christ.
Is it storming up there?
Is it?
I think so.
No, we're okay. Alright, that's good. A little bit port, slightly port for this, but only just.
Do we have a hole down here, or are we just taking on water from somewhere?
No, I think I was missing somehow, or like, because you guys were standing near the grate, it just wasn't going out.
I think that's it off the starboard bow. Like we're pretty much nearly already there. Yeah, it is. Go ahead and take up the sails again. Can leave the back one down a little bit, so we're still kind of going. I see a ship. What is that ship? It's a skeleton ship. It's a sloop. This little cluster of trees is it.
Isn't that a lonely island?
Isn't that the name of a band?
Which song is What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor?
I don't know. No, that's not it. That's not it.
Kyle was playing it earlier.
Yeah. Does Kyle have more songs than we do?
I don't think so.
I only have one more.
Pull the sails up.
The sails are up.
All the way up. Okay, good.
They are up.
Pull them up.
Is the one more that you have that song?
I don't think it is.
What's it called then?
You guys can figure out the song while Sprinty John and I go get the treasure.
There's a looks like a skeleton captain on the other side.
Is there?
It's Jolly Good Fellow, isn't it?
I think.
No, that's for he's a jolly good fellow.
Yeah, that's
that one. Nobody can deny. Nobody. Captain Treacherous Thompson. Got him.
Skeleton's orders. Gold.
Gold. There are two
There's a bottle right there.
things here, and there's a bottle. There is a chest right here. This isn't the one we're looking for, but this is the one that we... Oh, this is, in fact, the one we're looking for. Never mind. I wonder if there's another treasure chest under this. That's what it sounds like.
That'd be hilarious.
I think there is. I think this is the second time that this has happened. Remember that one time a couple weeks ago when we had like 2 treasure chests at the exact same spot? This is the one for the tall tale.
I'll go get the other ones. Looks like it's on the south side.
Yep, there is another treasure chest here. The drunky one.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Craig can have this one. He's used to it now. Oh no. We don't want that one. Okay. Let's see here. Our memories. We should go back to these places and hide our mementos. Where we survived our first ambush. The first place we made land together. Okay, so... do we want to go to both of these, or just one of these? Because there are 2 potential places. There's where they survived their first ambush, and there's where they first made land together. I guess we want both. Let's see. Cannon Cove is one of them. And the other one, I guess, is Sailor's Bounty. Whee. Let's see here. Sailor's Bounty is like right here to the west. It's like the literal next island over. Cannon Cove is southeast. Further away. Let's go to Sailor's Bounty first.
Oh, did you want the Ashen Skull in that?
Oh yeah, that's may as well.
Alright. Let's see. Okay. This is Sailor's Bounty. Are we all good to go?
Seems so.
Is that a player ship? No, it's a skeleton ship.
Use your supply gas. Look at it.
I am. It's just that all of the lights that I saw for a second were all one color, and I thought, oh, is that a player ship? And then I finally saw the blue light on the side.
Yeah, just wait a moment.
Wait your moment. Craig, we're going like directly west. We're going to that island right there. Wait. No, we're going to over here. Port side. Those islands right there. That's where we're going. Let's see. What else do we have? No, that's not it. God, I think the one extra song you have is What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor. None of these are it.
Okay, let's try then.
Hold on. Let's pull up the sails. We're here. We're here already almost. I didn't know there were any extra songs. I wonder how you get that. It's a very dramatic rendition of it.
What, this?
Yeah.
No, this is We'll Sail Together.
Oh.
This is like Sea of Thieves' main theme.
It's also What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor? At least it starts out with it.
Yeah.
So you wrote a ticket claim to Rare and not, what, Twitch?
Yeah, so... To YouTube it was. So the reason is... if I'm getting a copyright notice for a song when the game itself has a literal setting that says mute all copyrighted content, and yet I'm still getting you know, copyrighted notices, no, why? Then that is definitely a problem that they, I think, would be more willing to fix than friggin' YouTube.
YouTube fix things?
YouTube doesn't. Yeah, well, that's the thing. YouTube doesn't give a shit. But Rare might give a shit if it turns out that it's some kind of copyright troll that's pretending to be Rare or pretending to own the music, when Rare would be the ones to know whether or not that is a fact. And so that's why I contacted Rare. I'm actually surprised that I heard anything back, to be honest. But they did finally get back to me. They said they would like a screenshot of the notice, you know, so they can see what the company name is, and so I gave it to them, and that's the last I heard, and that was only yesterday. So,
Merg, what would you do with a drunken sailor?
I would let them sleep it off, because if someone is drunk, I cannot get their consent to do anything more. I'd have a nice innocent time with them, and then in the morning when we're all sober again, then I can confess my feelings for them. See if they want to do anything.
You can get prior consent.
All right. So there is this, from the base of the tallest tree, she'll spot the place where our eyes first met. The base of the tallest tree. I think that it might actually be this, but I'm not entirely sure. Here's the thing, there are a lot of trees. Do they mean tall as in the highest tree, or tall as in the single tallest tree? Because there's like a difference, isn't it? Do I see... Yes, actually I do see something that is where I want to go. Okay. I think it's over here. And then from there we'll spot a rock peeking down at us. And there's a candlelit barrel. A rock peeking down at us.
Skeletons orders.
Oh, they mean this rock over here. All right. Get up there. How do I get up on top of here? There we go. Ooh. Mind the gap. Holy shit. What's this? Oh, there's a sapphire gem up here. Someone take it. Or not. It's fine. Standing to the candlelit barrel, we were able to see 2 hanging bottles by the beach. 2 hanging bottles by the beach. Candlelit barrel.
I'm going to do my best and not repeat the joke. Are you guys honestly following me all the way down here? Piss off.
That's it. Okay.
Go do ghost things somewhere else.
Hold on, I'm gonna deposit this gem over here. Someone can shoot it later. Oh, there's ammo crate here too.
There's a very extensive cave system under this island.
I don't think that we need to worry about the cave system. None of the clues point to the cave system.
Are you green bastards? Bring it on.
Also, I think I'm bringing company.
Why are you bringing company to me?
Oh, I
already have my own group.
I'm not bringing it to you. Bringing it to Kyle. Kyle is the moonlit shanty. That's his name. Oh, he has a mermaid statue over here. Okay.
Those 2.
Got it.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. We need people over here.
So that's good.
We need people over here. Where it's not dangerous. We just have loot. We just have a lot of loot.
Got 5 gems.
I'm a bit busy.
Just run.
I've got a robot over here.
All right, bring that robot over here. This is where we want to go. Ooh.
Did you put the other 2
They're all over
here?
there. Yeah, they're all over there. Did you leave a gem, sir? Are you leaving a gem? No, you're not leaving a gem. Alright. This is it. This is what we want. You guys want to come over and help me dig, or are you just going to stay over there? It's fine if you want to stay over there. I'm just asking.
For a friend.
Yeah. Rose's music box. Oh, I have to I have to hold it. Can I like wind it? No. Well, this is one thing that she wants, so back to the ship, because we have another thing to get to on another island. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff over there. Wait. Look on the port side, or starboard side.
Well, you have a harpoon.
I don't think I can use it.
Yes, you can.
While Kyle is there, it didn't let me access it. All right, well.
No gold.
No. There's also stuff on the beach right in front of the ship. Did we get that? I put it there.
I got a couple things. There was one behind the ship that I didn't get.
Why are you moving the ship? You just left it. It's fine though. It's fine. It was like a gem and an ammo box. It wasn't anything terribly special. We get it. Alright. Alright, we are going to the other island that I have marked. It's like southeast. It's past the outpost. Oops. Let's try this again. Craig, will you stop? We have a rowboat. If you could just, you know, stop.
I thought Kyle would have docked with me by now.
It's a little hard to dock with a moving boat. A rowboat's not that fast.
Why are you crashing?
Craig, for fuck's sake. Alright. Where is Kyle? There he is. Yay! God, I can't get... There we go.
Oh, you may as well put the gems in that chest.
Oh, did we didn't empty the rowboat either, did we? Let me empty the rowboat. Alright. Storing things. Southeast. Yes, it's southeast past the outpost. I do have it marked. Don't remember the name of it though. It is Cannon Cove. It's like, yeah, pretty much directly southeast, so we're good. Maybe very slightly more starboard. still stuff up here.
There's a player ship over there.
Is there where?
In front of us, sort of.
Oh, I see it.
They're heading southwest.
They're heading away from us, so it's fine. We're not going that way.
They might be going to that port over there.
Where we're going is like literally straight ahead of us. We might have to get around these rocks, but otherwise we're on the good course. So, Craig.
Yeah?
I watched the Babylon 5 animated movie that came out.
Yeah.
It was fine. You know, it was... It certainly was an animated movie. They got, apparently, everyone who was still alive back. Most everyone who was still alive back. But then they also got some different people to do some of the voices of the cast that were, you know, that have passed away. Only one of them really sounded like who he was trying to sound like. And that was, of course, the legendary Phil Lamar playing Dr. Stephen Franklin. He sounded really good. The others kind of sounded not very similar, but you know, it's okay. We're off course, by the way. We need to go more port.
It'd be hard to imitate Mira Furlan.
Yeah, and they did get someone to imitate her, and it's like the actual tone of her voice was fairly similar, but like the accent wasn't quite the same. Like you could tell.
No. Your tone is all wrong. Talk to my guy like that again, and I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
And the guy they got for Garibaldi was, he had one line. It was like an off-screen goof that actually sounded exactly like Garibaldi, but the rest of his lines were just kind of like, "We have Garibaldi at home." And they had Jakar, and Jakar did not really sound anything like Jakar. And oddly enough, they had Lanier, and they actually, and when I was watching it, I was thinking, man, this doesn't sound anything like Billy Mooney. And then I look on the credits, and it was in fact Billy Mooney, even though he does not sound anything like Lanier. It's weird.
Getting old does that to a person.
I guess.
One of the last roles Mira Furlan played was a goblin prostitute.
Sure, she'll be glad that she can be remembered that way. Story-wise, it was fine. It absolutely assumes that you know the story of Babylon 5. Like, it is not something that someone who is new to Babylon 5 would want to watch. Because it's 100% meant for people who have already seen the show. Bye. It was a bit fan servicey, it was a bit schmaltzy in the end, but it was fine. You know, it was nice to hear the characters again. According to JMS, he still is trying to get a full live-action reboot going. But then he also said that if this animated thing goes well, he actually wants to do more of the animated stuff. So like the animated stuff would not be reboot. It would be like the original, you know, the original cast, at least the people that he can get, and it would be more stories in that universe. But then he still wants to do like an actual full reboot in addition. So it'd be like both. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen or not.